Shalom, shalom. Second. All right. Shalom. Shabbat's a great millstone. Charlotte come with another quick live morning lesson through the spirit and probably how about Shemal Shai. First and foremost, we want to start by giving our praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, shalom.
Well,
So we're just going to touch on this article, man, going into the introduction of the digital identity wallet, in Europe, because we understand these things, understanding prophecy, we know these things are about to make their way over to Babylon the Great. It's also known as America, man, right? And it's ultimately leading to the MOTB, because everything we see, the rollouts, right, but whether it be the jab passports and things of that nature, right? The coming famines, right? All these things lead to the mark of the beast, man.
God.
So I'm gonna start here in this. It reads: Brussels rolls out electronic leash for Europeans with introduction of digital identity wallet. And as the elder Yashawamba had a lesson last night that they want more control, right? So that leash is giving them more control, right?
Mhm.
The more they can get things on the digital side, the more they'll be able to control your buying and selling, people's spending habits, what you can and can't buy, you know, and it's all gonna be attached to that charagma. It says Europe is digitizing its people's identification with a new digital identity wallet program that many worry will allow the European Union tyrants in Brussels to manipulate and control the continent with greater ease. And that's what's going through the whole earth, man. Right? They're trying to manipulate and control with greater ease. Right? So they're trying to have the perfect slavery, man. Right? Where they have no responsibilities. They just reap the spoils. Right? It says, and we're seeing that happen over here as well. They're pushing digital identification, right? It says an agreement forged between European Parliament and the Council of the European Union has established the creation of new EU digital identity wallets that will include digital versions of all ID cards, driver's licenses, certificates, and medical documentation, right? And then this is ultimately going to be put into that chip, right? For the time being, the EU's digital identity wallet will be voluntary, right? So for the time being, right, there's going to be a point in time where it's no longer voluntary. It's going to be required for you to participate in society. It reads,
So, Con, if I can mention, pretty much, that's how Esau works. He'll get the volunteers, and then the rest of them will get voluntold.
exactly, exactly. Because you go to the WEF, part of their plan is civic participation, right? So the people pretty much control each other. They
Hmm.
don't. All they have to do is put the things in motion, and then
Hmm.
everybody else is just going to fall in line through the peer pressure, right?
Right.
What's it called? Fear of being left out. Um, Continuing on, it says for the time being, the EU's digital identity wallet will be voluntary, and the European Commission is insistent that it is 100% secure, right? Because they push this what's the word, cybersecurity, right?
Hmm.
Everybody thinks everybody's trying to steal their identity. They think that their accounts are under attack, right? That they push this peace and safety, right? It says, um, Slovakia. Spain's president even commented that the new platform will make the EU as a whole a digital leader at a global level for the preservation of democratic values. With wonders, Slovakia, it says, one wonders though, what exactly does a digital identity wallet have to do with European values, and where did this strange notion originate? The answer has to do with who controls Brussels. and thus who controls most of Europe. It reads, as predicted, the Rona passports leading to digital ID wallets. Right, so this is, they tie this all back to the Wuhan situation, right? It says privacy advocates everywhere are warning that the digital identity wallet represents a serious threat to people's online security. A serious threat to people's online. Why is it doing this? Threat to people's online security and freedom. Some 504 academics and experts from 39 countries recently signed an open letter decreeing the scheme as anti-freedom because it is, right? And this whole thing is set up, to what's the word? Round up the people, man. So they can be more easily controlled. That's what this, Agenda 2030, right? These 15-minute cities, the technocracy that we're seeing be established. That's the whole MO. Is to have more control, to be able to, as it read, to put a leash, on the people.
Right, because they at least think of the people, the masses, as cattle,
Mhm.
you know. And then also, the thing, a thing why they want to go digital is because with digital, like they always said, like digital is forever, so they want something that's forever. They want that perpetual slave. When they want to put that, the scripture where it says, here it is. This is Shambhat, Exodus chapter 21 and verse 6. It says, then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through within all, and he shall serve him forever. Because this is essentially, we understand that Esau he wants to keep Jake into a perpetual state of sin, and this is essentially, they did this in Rome. You see, this is just a digital all, 2.0, and whatever else society they did this in. But essentially, the point that I want to make was being that Esau is like he wants to go digital. Digital is forever, so he wants that perpetual slave.
Exactly, exactly. And like you said, that digital off, right? That digital mark of servitude, right?
Prakata.
Sloppy. What? Um, Continuing on, it reads, many warned that this kind of thing was coming during the Wuhan pandemic, when various parts of the world were discussing so-called jab passports. They said that implementing passports would open up the floodgates to digitization of everything. Right, so everything is being digitalized because it's easier for them to control. Right, that's why they're taking cash away. Right, that's why they're pushing the electric cars and all things of that nature, man. Right, because the digital world is more easy for them to control than the physical. It reads many. Well, now we are seeing that happen starting in Europe. Everything is being merged digitally into one single source point so that each individual can travel about and flash a smartphone or even a microchipped bodily limb in front of the scanner in order to buy, sell, and go about one's business, right? Because these people know, man, right? Look, as we read right here, it said, is this the long anticipated mark of the beast finally taking shape? Is it perhaps a predecessor of the Mark of the Beast, or is it really just an honest, innocent attempt to make life easier on Europeans? Right? It's the latter, or the former, rather. Right? These are what's leading up to that eventual charagma, man. Right? That implantable buy or sell device, right? That your salvation is going to be attached to, man. Right? Because if you receive this thing, you're giving yourself over to Satan, right? You're bowing the knee, right? And you, as the brother read, you're taking that digital all, and making yourself a perpetual servant. It says here. Actually, can you get that? You go and grab that Revelation 13, and you can start in 15.
God, this is Revelation. It's a lot. It's Revelation chapter 13 and verse 15. And it says, and he had power to give life into the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that So let me start over. It says, and he had power to give life into the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Right, and this is what we're saying, that image, right? The image of the beast is this whole system, man. Right, this beast system, they're pushing forward that image, right? The ways of life, the customs, right? There's them merging man with machine, right? Is in there. This is them pushing forward that image, man, because they want to make the world in their image, right? Because they believe themselves to be on the same level as the Most High, man.
Verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Right, because yeah, as we read in the latter verse, it said that those that would not worship the image will be killed. Right. So when it says he calls us, it means he's constituting these things. He's putting these things into law. Right. And scriptures say, he's framing mischief by law. Right. He's all his things. He uses these what's the word? Um, these Salakia. I can't get it's on the tip of my tongue. Um, Pretty much these constitutional amendments and things of that nature, right? To push forward mischief, man. They get in these crafty councils, and they put these laws in the books in order to force the people, into a trap, right? So that's him causing all small, great, rich, and poor, free and bond. So everybody's going to be required, but it's going to be, up to you and ultimately up to the spirit, whether you take part in this, man, because they can't force you to take it, but they can make it, they can make things harder on you. Going back to that, those who won't worship the image of the beast should be killed, because you're going to be separated from society.
Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the charagma or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath it, that hath understanding, count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600 score and six.
hmm Right. So no buying, no selling. Right. No taking part in society, as we brothers have gotten in other articles, right? Your ability to maintain and to continue in this the comforts of America, right, is going to be taken away once you refuse this device, you know. And these digital IDs, we're seeing more and more grocery stores, in adapt that those called the palm reading systems,
Mm-hmm.
right? You got the Amazon ones where all you gotta do is take the stuff out of off the shelf and it takes the money out of your account, right? All these things are gonna be attached to that device, man.
Right. You want Revelation 14?
Yeah, hold it. I'm gonna finish out this article.
Ah,
That's a lot. I'm looking for a precept. Okay. All right. This is Sirach 27:2, and it reads, "As a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones, so doth sin stick close between buying and selling." Right? You know, and, sticking fast means very close, man. Right? It's tight, right? Because these things are, uh, what's the word? Uh, uh, Conjoined to get together, right? That buying and selling with that device, is ultimately the ultimate sin, man. Right? You giving yourself over, to Esau, Edom, ultimately giving yourself over to Satan, man. You know.
kind of, and it's the spirit too, because it says, so does sin stick close to buying and selling, because, you know, they're going to stick those that get that charagma, so
Mhm.
that they can be intel in the system.
Uh, it reads, continuing on in the article, it says chances are that the last option is not the correct answer, right? That last option was an innocent attempt to make life easier, right? We know it was never that, man. Right? This devil has war in his heart at all times. Everything he does, has malicious intent behind it, right? And it says he sleeps not unless he causes some to fall, right? Um, Continuing on, it says that the first two questions cut to the heart where this is all headed, right? So everything is headed to the MOTB, man. Everything is headed to the Charagma. We already saw how Canada handled residents and visitors who refused to get jabbed, denying them the ability to move about or to work. So they were denied. They were, as we went into last night. Were thrown into these pseudo concentration camps, man.
Mhm.
Right? It's just like in Australia, right? The whole country was, a giant concentration camp at one point. It says, should Europe successfully implement a digital identity wallet on a voluntary basis, attracting a majority of Europeans to use it of their own volition, then it's not at all crazy to think that eventually the wallet will be mandatory, which appears to be the goal, right? They understand that this is the a grasp for control, man, right? It says Brussels Commissioner Terry Brenton is already talking about the digital identity wallet a step further by implementing a digital euro currency within that would do away with the euro paper and coin money. And that's what we're seeing over here. They're doing away with the dollar, right? Or the physical dollar. They're going into the digital dollars, right? It reads, keep in mind that this is the same Brenton who continues to rattle on about social media needs more censorship along with the rest of the internet where free speech is still allowed. As we went into last week, right? All these things, the censorship, the persecution, right? The propaganda, this is tying back to the MOTB, man, right? It all goes in the same direction. There's one point, right, where all these things are funneling into. It reads, um, if financial matters find their way into this wallet, greater control of people's lives will be facilitated with the possibility of introducing a system of social credits and electronic sanctioning for those engaged in protests, right? And the sanctions are going to go against anybody who's not fully, given over to the system, right? Who's not bound down to the image of the beast, right? So it's not just about protests; it's about anybody who speaks up against, Babylon the Great and their wickedness, man. This global system and its wickedness as a whole. It says such a system will also enable the authorities to control the way people spend their money, as happened in Canada and Brazil. Digital currency makes business easier, but it's also an instrument for removing our rights of privacy. The world is fast becoming a digital prison with no way to escape. you know. So that's what we're seeing right now. This is they're trying to trap the people into a digital concentration camp at this point, man. Right?
Mhm.
And their people are voluntary. They're walking themselves, into those gates, right? And then the door locks behind them, and they wonder why they can't get out, man. Because now you're completely given over to them, man.
So get Revelation.
God,
It's Revelation chapter 8.
14.
Oh, I saw verse 8. It's Revelation 14 and verse 8. It says, and there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath
Hmm.
of her fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his charagma in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and the presence of the Lamb.
Right. So this is what we're seeing, man. Right, or what we're going to see. Right, these people who gave themselves over to the beast. Right? If you even take it, right? It says, if you receive this mark in your hand or in your forehead, the same shall drink the wine of the wrath of the of the Lord, man, right? Which is poured out without mixture, man, right? Into the cup of his indignation, right? Meaning that righteous anger. You're gonna receive the full brunt, of Yahweh Shem Shah's anger as a result of you giving yourself over, because you've crossed enemy lines, man, right? And there's no turning back after that, right? You
Mm-hmm.
on that side, you gotta stay on that side, right? And 2/3, they're gonna be destroyed on this side, but then ultimately the Lord is gonna bring them back, in the kingdom. But we know that they're going to end up taking this device because they're completely given over to the comforts, to what's the convenience, of Babylon the Great, right? They've created slaves to convenience, so people don't know it's like a drug. Once these little things, the little comforts of daily life start to get taken away, These people are gonna be, lining up, running, to go get the charagma, man.
Okay. I got a precept. This is Isaiah Yeshaya chapter 36 and verse 4. It says, and Rabshakeh said unto them, say ye now to Hezekiah, thus saith the great king, the king of Assyria, what confidence is this wherein thou trustest? It says, I say, sayest thou, but they say, it's like, but they are but vain words. I have counsel and strength for war. Now on whom doest thou trust that thou rebellest against me? Which the king of Assyria can be likened to those in rulership. Those is in ahead of this captivity. You see, because the tribes have been scattered. You see, but 2/3 are going to rely on the king of Assyria, so to speak. Well, yeah. So it says, I say, sayest thou, but they. So I'm reading. It says, I say, sayest thou, but they are but vain words. I have counsel and strength for war. Now on whom doest thou trust that thou rebellest against me? You see, which I believe this is going into Hezekiah, you know, um, trusting in the Lord, because he wasn't going to go with what the king of Assyria was saying. It says, lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, where if a man whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt to all that trust in him. It says, but if thou say to me, we trust in the Lord our power, it not he whose high places and whose altars Hezekiah had taken away, and said to Judah and to Jerusalem, ye shall worship before this altar. It says, now therefore give pledges, I pray thee, to my master the king of Assyria, and I will give thee 200 horses if thou be able on thy part to set riders upon them. You see, so the elect is not going to trust on Egypt. You see, because if you trust on Egypt, all right, it's essentially when you go into, it says, lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed, which that staff represents authority. And it says broken reed because this place is broken. You can see that it's crumbling, the morality, the money, the job systems. It says, whereon if a man lean, when you go into lean, it's a samak, all right, for support, you see. So if you lean, if you trust on Egypt, if you're looking for help, essentially it's going to lead forth to getting a charagma, which 2/3 would be the short for getting that. I got one more. This is the Hoyam Psalm, chapter 21, and verse 9. It says, thou shalt make them as a fiery oven in the time of thine anger. The Lord shall swallow them up in his wrath, and the fire shall devour them. All right, and we just got Revelation chapter 14, verses 8 to 10. All right, talking about how essentially those that take that charagma, they're gonna be burned up in that fire. It's gonna be a missile soup. It says, their fruit shall thou destroy from the earth. Talking about the wicked. All right, and 2/3, and their seed from among the children of men. For they intended evil against thee. They imagined a mischievous device which they are not able to perform, all right, and it's chiefly the wicked, all right, Esau, Edom, all right, and these heathen, all right, because they're not going to get their NWO fully off the ground. They're going to get a decent portion. They're going to get the masses of the people, but the elect are not going to get.
That's right. Right. At the fullness of his sufficiency, right? The Lord is going to tear down this hegemony, right? When they think they have it all figured out, when they think they, getting away scot free, right? Then they got the spiritual blockade set up. They have bounds that they cannot pass, right? The Lord has them boxed in, you know. But could you get that Second Corinthians
2:11.
2:11? We'll close with that. I'll read in the NLT as well.
Okay. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, lest Shaitan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
We're not ignorant of his devices, man. We know what this devil got going on, man. Right? The Lord has these articles and things coming out. He has brothers going in, every day. He even has Esau's tongue falling upon himself. So that what we see these things coming, right? We see them coming a mile away. We see all the mischievous devices. We see the system being set up. We're watching these things unfold. It's all through the spirit and probably how about Shemal Shai in order so that we don't get taken advantage of, man. Now in the NLT, it reads, so Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. right? So we know, they do the same thing every time, right? As brother say, y'all he going left every time. You
Yep.
know, this man has one move, and he's been doing it better than anybody, but now, he getting slow, right? That crossover don't work the same no more, right? So now look, he's on his last legs, man. And the Lord, he's showing us, that this devil is fallen, man. He's giving us the what's the word? The foresight, in order to prepare ourselves, man, right? So that we don't get outsmarted by this devil, because he's gonna outsmart 2/3, right? He's gonna get around 2/3. Let me uh let me get this from the brother on the comment board. Shalom Alaikum. It's GMS in his likeness. This is First Timothy 6 and verse 20. Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called. And this is, Esau Edom is the that false physician, man, right? Their pharmakia, right, which ties back into the mark of the beast, man. All these things go back to the Quran, right? They're leading in, right? It says verse 21, which some professing have erred concerning the faith. Uh, Grace be with thee, amen. Right, so we're seeing some are erring in the faith, right? We're seeing people waxing worse and worse, right? Jake that knows that they're Israelites doing abominable things, right? Jake speaking, against Yahweh Shah's name, all these things, and that's how we know we're getting to the end, because the reprobate spirit, is starting to intensify, man. Where all these things are ramping up, because ultimately the spirit of Yahweh Shai is about to make his presence felt, man. And we're gonna see judgment take place at all time rates, right? And part of that judgment is gonna be whether or not people take this karama, whether or not people take this digital implantable device, right? Which is gonna be their ticket to buy or sell, whether or not you're going to be able to forsake this world, right, and be killed, whether it be physically and be a martyr, or be killed, meaning being cut off from society because you refuse to bow the knee to Baal, man. You know,
Con, you had made a point. I want to get a precept. Says a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. Hold on. I think it's Proverbs 22. Yeah, right here. It's Proverbs 22 and verse 3. It says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. All right. And essentially, the elect has that vision, because the scriptures say, where there is no vision, that people perish. You see, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. All right. And essentially, those that keep the law, those that are into the scriptures, all right, they essentially have the foresight and the understanding and the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and the discretion to avoid the things that will essentially get you destroyed.
God, God, beautiful. Um, that's pretty much it. You know, they're setting up the digital identity systems, man. It's gonna make its way over here just the same way it's been over in China, the same way they're setting it up in Europe, right? And all these things are gonna be leading you to that MOTB, man, that device, right? Uh, uh, that device that your salvation, hinges on, man, right? Because if you receive it, as we read in Revelation 14:8 and 9, right? If you take it, then you're gonna have to take part in that second death, man, right? But those who refuse, we're gonna have to endure, until the Lord redeems us, man, and He's ultimately gonna vindicate us for our patience and for our sufferings, man. You know. But hey, we pray that lesson was edifying through the Spirit and power. How about Shema Shai? I want to close by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. Hey,
Go
Kwame
on.
Asherah. Hey, we almost home, man. Shalom.
Yahweh Mahar.